South Korea's President Yoon Suk Yeol says he will lift his sudden martial law declaration after the parliament voted down the measure, which sparked protests, fear and confusion across the country. This is the moment troops entered the parliament compound in Seoul after the edict was issued, the first since the 1980s, when South Korea was under a dictatorship. Earlier, Mr Yoon accused his political detractors of anti-state activities.
I declare martial law to protect the free Republic of Korea from the threat of North Korean communist forces, to eradicate the despicable pro-North Korean anti-state forces that are plundering the freedom and happiness of our people, and to protect the free constitutional order.
It didn't take long for protesters to gather outside the National Assembly. There were scuffles with security forces, with some MPs also involved in clashes as they tried to get inside for a rushed parliamentary vote on the decree. 190 of the 300 members rejected the martial law declaration.
In accordance with the National Assembly's decision, the President must immediately lift martial law. The declaration of martial law is now invalid.
Mr Yoon later wound back the measure, which even failed to get the support of the leader of his own Conservative Party. Observers believe the emergency declaration is linked to the President's political struggles. He's been unpopular, with his support ratings hovering around 20% for months, and he's been unable to advance his agenda in the opposition-controlled parliament since taking office in 2022. Mr Yoon has also dismissed calls for investigations into scandals involving his wife and top officials.
In the Constitution, you can only declare martial law if in extreme cases of national emergency or, like wartime or an incident or military need. And so this clearly is not a context that fits those criteria.
Martial law was last imposed in South Korea after the assassination of dictator Park Chung-hee in 1979. Authoritarian rule ended in 1987 and the country became a parliamentary democracy through a constitutional referendum. Almost 4 decades later, many South Koreans have been shocked by the president's surprise move.
I was about to go to bed and watching the news. I thought this was a joke. Then it turned out true, that he had declared a martial law. I got so worried.
It doesn't make sense. It is really happening in the 21st century?
After watching the news, I felt anxious and I also thought that this is such a national shame.